Inequalities involving absolute value. This is going to be really, really similar to what we did yesterday. But you see here we have an absolute value. When we had absolute values before, what we had to do was split the problem in two and solve each one individually. And that's what we're going to do here. But just like yesterday, some of them are going to be ands and some of them are going to be ors. We need some way to tell if it's an and or an or, and that's going to be my symbol. Less thans or ands. It doesn't matter if it's less than or equal to or just less than. If it's less than, it's going to be an and. If it's greater than or greater than or equal to, it's going to be an or. So this is going to be an and problem. Now that doesn't affect anything until we get to our answer. So to solve this, what I'm going to do is rewrite it just like it is. I'm just not going to put the absolute value on it. Then we're going to write it again, almost the same way. But the second time, we're going to flip my symbol. So my less than becomes a greater than. And you change the sign. So that's a positive 4. Now it's a negative 4. Now I have my two equations, and I can solve these individually. So I'm going to plus 4 to get rid of the minus 4. 4 plus 4 is 8, so I have x is less than 8. On this side, I'm going to plus 4, plus 4. 4's cancel out. I have x is greater than, those 4's cancel out, so that leaves me with 0. Now, if I wanted to graph this, you can see if I started at 8 and go left, I start at 0 and go right, we would end up with this overlap for this entire section, and we would end up with an and graph that looks like that. So, and. But we don't have to do that because we saw that at the beginning it was less than, so I knew it was going to be an and. So I can just put them down, put an and I don't have to worry about graphing them. This one's greater than, so it's going to be an or. So I'm going to rewrite it. C minus 2 is greater than 6 with the knowledge in my mind that this is going to be an or. Rewrite it for the second time, C minus 2. We're going to change our symbol, so greater than becomes less than, and we're going to change our sign, so 6 becomes negative 6. Solve this one, minus 2, I would plus 2 to get rid of it. I get C is greater than 8. Solve this one, since it's minus 2, we would plus 2. C, that cancels out, less than, negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. And we already decided this was an or, so I put an or in there. Now, this one's much bigger. It's got a less than, so I know this is going to be an and, so we're going to keep that in mind. This one has something different, and not just because it's bigger, but because there's this minus 3 here that is not part of the absolute value. I cannot split it into two problems and solve until this absolute value is by itself. So I'm going to plus 3 before we ever get started to both sides. That gives me 3y plus 4. It's less than, and that makes negative 13. Now I can actually split it and solve. So I'm going to take this. We're going to split it into 3y plus 4 less than negative 13. And I don't care about the negatives, anything else. I'm looking at this less than, keep everything the same. For the second one, 3y plus 4, flip the symbol, change the negative 13 to a positive because we want to change the sign. So if we want to solve this one, I have to get the y by itself. I had to get rid of the 4. Since it's plus, we're going to minus. That gives me 3y is less than negative 13 minus 4 is negative 17. Divide by 3 and get rid of it. Y is less than negative 17 over 3. I can't reduce that, can't do anything with it. It stays just like it is. On this side, we're going to minus 4 again. Now 13 minus 4, that makes 9. Divide out the 3. And I get y is greater than 3. We decided this was an and earlier. So there's my and we're done. So if you have anything outside the minus, outside the absolute value, get rid of it first. Right, one more and the same thing. It has a +5. It's a less than, so it's going to be an and. Less than an and. Greater than is an or. Less than is an and. So we want to get rid of this +5 before we ever get started. So I'm going to minus the 5. Absolute value of b equals, not equals, less than, because that's my symbol, 4. Okay, to solve this, we're now going to split it. B is less than 4. Write the other one, flip my symbol, change my sign, and hey, all the b's are by themselves. There's nothing else to do except put and then call her done.